So ugly. Today is going to be a little bit of a different video than I normally do. Usually I grab one topic. This is going to be 4, 5, 6. We're going to start with the front wall over there because, as you can see, we've still got the drywall exposed. And tomorrow I've got a photographer coming in. And yeah, it's safe to say that we've got a little bit of cleaning to do, and we've got a couple other bits we need to sort out as well. But first I think we need to go and get some, I'm thinking black MDF for there. I tried it on there and I tried it in between here. It gave a nice bit of depth to that front wall design. And I'm thinking I'm just going to do black MDF all over there. And then last week at IKEA I picked up these cabinets over here that can house a bunch of stuff, and I can put the monitor on, and these can clamp onto there, so that can be fixed. Yeah, I went for the cheapest wood I can get. Underlayment, this is called, I believe. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be a big fan, but tomorrow for the pictures I just need something that's not drywall. So let's get this installed and see how it looks. Okay, let's see how this is going to look. Got no clue. I think there's one thing we need to do before we can do this, and that is getting rid of those second speaker stands. Getting heavy stands out of the studio is a nightmare. Man, I'm doing it again. Oh yeah, Paul put felt under this. Thanks, Paul. That's amazing. These slide. Those don't. But I'm not going to move those. Let's first see how the underlayment would look. Yeah. Am I a fan? I don't think so. I'm seriously considering going back to get black MDF, but there might be one more option. And I can hear you go, Thomas, weren't there speakers on those speaker stands? Yes, there were. There were Dutch and Dutch 8Cs on there. I tried them out for a couple of months. The guys from Dutch and Dutch reached out to me and said, like, hey, do you want to try out these monitors we've got? We think you'll like them. So I did. Many different times I went back and forth between my ATCs and the 8Cs. Made plenty of buns with those words almost being the same. At the end I came to the conclusion that what I need for mixing I have in my ATCs. I mean, my ATCs, as we all know, if you've followed the whole studio build thing, there's something to be desired with them still. They don't have all the low end. There's a pretty big gap between 100 and 150. There's a lot of stuff I still need to figure out with them. The Dutch and Dutch on measurement solved all of that. They were super flat because they are a cardioid design. They measured super well. They sounded fantastic. But I needed what my ATCs were giving me in mixes. I said this to Martijn, the owner of Dutch and Dutch as well. Like, this is how I interpret the difference between these two speakers. Dutch and Dutch gives you an insanely detailed representation of what's going on and tells you exactly what you need to fix in the mix. The ATC bluntly says, hey dude, your mix sucks, and it's because of your guitar being too sharp, your S's are too loud, and you lack all the punch down there. And I feel that with what I do, mostly mixing, then producing and recording, stem mastering is a big part of it, but it's all in the creative side of audio. And it's not so much in the final details of things where I need a really detailed representation of what there is to fix. I think the Dutch and Dutch 8Cs would be insane for mastering, and that's where I see them a lot. I see Ohad has some Dutch and Dutch 8Cs, I believe, and there's a couple of other people that really master on high level that have the Dutch and Dutch 8Cs, and I can really tell that they would work very, very well over there. But for me, I would love to have them next to the ATCs, but it just didn't work. Space wise, I don't have the width in the room. They needed to be in the spot where the ATCs were, and then running those two sets together was just not something I could do. Let alone like that set is 15K and the ATCs are 9K. So yeah, it's like I had to choose and I made the decision. I also want to be honest to you about that. I also want to say, like I said, with the Trinov as well, which I also don't have in the setup anymore. The systems are amazing. They're just not for me at this point. And I think that is fine. That's okay. That's you can have that opinion that something is a really, really good product, but it's not for you. As many of you know, I am a car guy. I'm a big fan of Porsche. And there's people that are big fans of Lamborghini. There's people that are fans of naturally aspirated engines. There's people that are a fan of turbo engines. There's something for everyone out there, and I think that's fine. Monitoring has proven again to be very, very, very personal and something you connect with, something that just clicks with you, and then you know what to do. And for me, that's the ATCs. Now, I still need to fix something with the acoustics, and I'll get back to that later. For now, it looks like I'm keeping the ATC SEM25s in this room. I don't know if I'm a big fan of this underlayment thing. I think I made the wrong decision, but we'll see in a second. But yeah, for now, let's just commit and then get this over with as soon as possible. With both on like this is all you're gonna see of it. What do we think? Is it nice? Is it very ugly? I'm not sure, guys. So there's a couple of things I could do. Let me run you through. I could make panels under here, just the wooden frames, and then just put fabric over them, just really shallow, 2 inches, not as an absorber, but just to cover up the wall and definitely this wooden plate. I could do that in this white. I could do that in this brown. Could also do that in black. I could get rid of these, get these, cost a little bit more money. The rest of these materials I've got laying around, so I could do that. I could also wrap this and then glue it onto your drywall. So let me know which one you would go for. The frames in white, the frames in brown, black MDF, or lastly, wrapping the underlayments, and then brown, white, or black. Let me know down below. I'm not sure yet. It's so ugly. Oh, it's so ugly. Fuck, this is... Oh. Okay, another thing we need to do has to do with the power going to this rack, because this strip is no bueno. I've had about 20-30 times that I came into the studio, turned everything on those switches, and somewhere in those switches something created a short and my power went out. Now, my power is behind this studio. There's a corridor of like 30 centimeters wide. You have to like Spider-Man yourself through that corridor and then go there. I don't want to do that every day. And I also don't want to have any electrical spikes messing with my gear. So we are going to get that one out. That's going in the bin right away. And then I bought this one. I'm not sure if it's better. It's chunkier. It's bigger. I just want it to work. Okay? Okay. Let's just get this out of the way and then unscrew that. Do you guys actually want to see stuff like this? Like the details? I find it very boring. Let me know if you want to see more or less of those details. I get that they can be very boring, but maybe I also skip too much because I think it's boring. I assume it's boring to you. Maybe you want to see it. So let me know in the comments if you want to see more of the actual plugging in and routing and all those bits. Or maybe you just want me to skip over them and afterwards show you what I did. I don't know. Let me know. So I want the last switch over there to be the speakers. Oh, this is so annoying. Okay, well, in case you didn't get the memo, I'm plugging in 6 plugs, and then I'm gonna tell you what's on which plug. And it is time to label what's going where, so everybody knows what's on which switch. And yes, I already forgot. So I think switch number 1 has no power at all. Right, the power plug coming from that still needs to go into an actual strip that has power. So we've got this strip over here that always has power, that powers my cameras, but also the ATEM switcher, the hub, the hard drive over here, because that stuff I always want to have power. And then also I can plug in other things like chargers and stuff I need. That cable goes there into the wall, and now we can figure out which switch has what. Okay, number 1. Something's happening. That is this rack and the Apollos. Number 2 has racks. Okay, that's the racks. Number 3 should be the patch bay. What is number 4? Let's see what number 4 is. Could that be the mini SSL? So let's turn it on and then switch it off of standby. Yes. I think number 5 I left open for something else. I think it used to be this, but it meant I had a cable like that and I didn't really want that, so I just put this into the wall directly. Might end up on switch 5, and then switch 6, always the last switch. The lights turn on, the speakers turn on. So that is the speakers. And actually this last switch of the speakers is the most important to me. If I could only have 2 switches, I would do the gear on number 1 and the speakers on their own dedicated switch, because it's really nice to be able to just switch off the speakers if you need to leave the gear on for the night, or if you need to unplug something and you're not sure if it's going to end up in the speakers. You can just switch it off and have them be safe from any spikes whatsoever. I had this idea of all these wooden trims all over the studio, which look nice until you take a closer look, because apparently oak, I didn't know this, but it works and it bends. So this is sticking out, it needs to go there, but I still have to figure out how to get it there. It also wasn't long enough, so I had to like make it longer over there by gluing it and stapling it and doing all kinds of things to it. But oh no, it also doesn't work here anymore. Yeah, it doesn't really wanna do what I want it to do. So if you know how to get all of that nice and snug, hit me up, let me know. Let's figure this out. You may have noticed that I am not as active on socials and on YouTube as I was a couple of months ago. And I was very, very active during the build of the studio, especially on YouTube here. But life has kind of caught up to me, and I wanted to share this with you guys so you know what's happening and what I'm working on and what's going on. I'm not giving up on YouTube. I still really want to do the YouTube thing, but it's just getting a little bit too much for me. There are so many things I need to do, and I thought that with setting up the studio, it would have been a place that would have made the whole YouTube thing and the content thing a lot easier. And it kind of does, with like fixed camera setups and everything being my own room. And if I need to leave a setup somewhere, then I can do that without anybody saying, hey, you need to clean that up. So that's amazing. But I also got to pay a bit of a chunk of rent, and building the studio wasn't cheap. And I'm just working my ass off to get that back into my bank account so I can chill a bit more and free up some time to make some more of these videos, because YouTube doesn't pay shit. If a video of mine gets like 10,000 views, to give you an idea, that makes me 30 euros. That means I've spent an entire day filming, half a day editing, maybe an entire day editing. It's not really a viable business model. That has kind of caught up with me, definitely because my cost has racked up and all the troubleshooting I need to do. I need to buy a bunch of new stuff that stopped working or just wasn't fit for this next level. So I need to focus a little bit more on the music side of things and on the YouTube side of things, unfortunately. I would love to spend more of my time making content and YouTube stuff and focusing more on that. So if you are planning to buy something and it happens to be on one of the shops on my affiliate links down below in the description, then please buy it over there because it helps me a lot. Also with KMR Germany and the UK, you get a 5% discount with the code Thomas5. So you get a discount and I get a little bit of a kickback, which makes that I can maybe uh, spend a little bit more time on the YouTube thing and making cool content for you all. Also, on the other side of things, as the studio got more towards the finished result, it seemed that everybody kind of got a signal that I was ready for work again. So everybody got in at exactly the same spot of like, hey, we need you. We gotta mix records. We gotta do recording sessions. We gotta produce an album. All of that stuff, which is absolutely amazing because I am an engineer, producer in the first place. Like, that's my job. The content side is because I really love it and it's a hobby that has gone out of hand, just like music was a hobby that's gotten out of hand. So, me being able to mix both of my biggest hobbies is amazing. Thanks to you guys for making that possible because without you guys, I wouldn't have been in this position in the first place. So, thanks a lot. Oh, yeah, you've seen me tease this Anatal X Bay. I'm just testing it out. So, with everything, I don't want to just get a unit and then a week later make a video. I want to actually put it through its paces, and this is something that's actually it's living in my setup right now. So I really need to take the time to get to know it, and I need to figure out how to set it up in my setup before I can make a good video on what it is and how I use it. You may have seen a couple of floating speakers all through my room. And I think I've discussed this before, but I would love to figure out the whole Atmos thing. Just because I want to figure out if I like working in Atmos. Taking you with me in the whole journey of setting up an Atmos room, mixing an Atmos, but also producing and recording in Atmos. Because I think that's where there's a couple of things that we still need to figure out as a music and audio industry, because it feels now sometimes that we're approaching all the music we make from a stereo point of view and then up mixing it to Atmos and not the other way around. So it feels right now that we are where mono was when stereo got introduced and people started putting the drums to the left and the bass to the right. And then it was cool, but it also didn't make sense and it was just weird. And then what happened was, okay, we actually set up two speakers in a recording studio and we start listening in stereo in the recording process and actually making those decisions based on the two speakers we have. So why are we now not making those decisions based on the 16 speakers we have or 14 or 12 or whatever setup you have? I think that's just weird. So I would love to have a full Atmos setup. Now I know with latency and everything that might get a little bit complicated, but if we can, I don't know, play a synth and then just go like, okay, let's put it in the back of the room. And then how much space can we give it? Okay, the backing vocals are going to be in the top four speakers. Okay, they don't have to be high pass that much. And what about recording actual bands in Atmos? How would that work? That's all the stuff I want to get into, and that's the stuff that gets me excited. And that's the thing also with the entire setup. Like, I still need this to feel like a hobby. And yes, it's my 9 to 5 and a little couple hours extra, but I still need my life to feel like a hobby as long as I can pay the bills. Why wouldn't I set up my life in a way that I go to work happy every single day and I can pay the bills with it? So, yeah, maybe it will take me a month, maybe it will take me 2 years before I get an Atmos setup over here, but yeah, it's something that's in the works. I hope you are as excited about the future of me, this studio, and this YouTube channel as I am. And if you're not subscribed yet, this is a great time to do that. If you want to check out the join button down below, there are mix breakdowns, recording walkthroughs, and there's a WhatsApp members chat as well for all the virtual internship members. It's a really cool place and might be worth to check out. Also, don't forget to pick up your gear with the affiliate links down below and get your 5% discount. Yeah, get yourself 5% discount with the code Thomas5 at KMR Audio Germany and the UK. I think that's enough yap for me today. That rhymed. Later.